Hello, this is a short video on how to organize negative numbers. As you can see, we have a vast array of numbers such as decimals, fractions, and percents. So let's try to put these in order just on a number line first. So like I always told you, I like to change them to decimals because decimals are what I'm most comfortable with. I'm going to leave this by itself. This one I kind of taught in class. We have -2 and 4/5. So we have -2 and 4/5. I know that -2 is just -2, but 4/5 in decimal form is 8/10. And so technically -2 and 4/5 is equal to a -2 and 8/10. This one is a little bit more tricky. You gotta just divide it. So we have our numerator on the inside, our denominator on the outside. 8 goes into 31 3 times. 8 times 3 is 24. And then we subtract and get 7. Don't forget to add your 2 decimals and your 0. 8 goes into 70 8 times, because 8 times 8 is 64. I bring down the 0 again. 8 goes into 60 7 times, because 8 times 7 is 56. And then I bring down the 0 one more time. 8 goes into 40 5 times, because 8 times 5 is 40. Please don't forget there's a negative. A lot of students, the reason they get this wrong is because they drop the negative and they forget to pick it back up. So please make sure you keep your negative. So that's how you do that. Last but not least, we have this percent. If you remember how to change from a percent to a decimal, good job. It should be to divide by 100. So I'm going to do 250 divided by 100. In case you're curious, it's 2 and 5/10, or -2 and 5/10. So because I only really need the important numbers, I'm just going to kind of erase my work to make my workspace a little bit more organized. You will have paper for this, so it's going to be a lot easier. It's just I kind of have a limited workspace. All right, so we should have all these 4 numbers. Now let's try to put it on a number line. So this is 0. I have -4, -3, -2, -1, and then 0. So let's try to figure this out. I'm going to kind of go with this one first, just because it's closest. We have -3 and 8/10. I think that belongs around over here, because it's more than halfway, so it's closer to -4 than it is to -3. That's fine. But then if you look at this one, we have -3 and 875 thousandths. Well, how do we know which one's bigger? Would it go here or here? We do that by basically lining up our decimals. If you guys see, I kind of line up decimals here. I would add placeholder zeros to kind of see that they're the same value. And so in this case, because it's negatives, we have to think of the opposite. This would actually be the smaller number. It's this would be the larger number. So -3 and 875 thousandths would be the smallest number of them all. So I'm going to put that right about here, because it really is very close to -3 and 8/10. It's only 75 hundredths away. Next, I'm going to try to look at -2/8. A good way to think about it is to kind of go from 0. I have to go -2/8. So I have -1, -2, and -2/8. So right around here looks good. And then similarly with -2.5, -1, -2, -0.5. So if you did your number line, it should look something like this. And this is fine. This is perfect. However, on your STAR test, they're not going to give you all decimal numbers to work with. So we had to change these back to the original numbers that we had. So -3 and 8/10 is perfect, but -2 and 8/10 was actually -2 and 4/5. So I'm just going to squeeze it in like this. Our next number is -3 and 875 thousandths. That was actually originally -31/8. And last but not least, our -2 and 5/10 used to be a -250%. So on your STAR test, you will probably see a question like this versus the one with all decimals. But yeah, it looks something like this. As you can see, our lines are roughly the correct places, and our numbers are all in the original form. And so it looks something like this. It's basically, what you have to remember is that the ones on the left are the smaller numbers, and the ones on the right are the larger numbers. Your number line will never steer you wrong if you do it correctly. This is going to be especially helpful for when you have word problems that are kind of confusing. If you have a number line, it'll help you kind of guide you through, oh, well, which one is bigger, -2/8 or -2/5? And so by kind of following the number line, it will really help clear that kind of stuff up for you. So hopefully this helps you tomorrow. If not, then please let me know. I do have tutorials in the morning. But thank you for your time and have a great night.